So now in this video, first of all we are going to see the first step of implementation of this new standard in your laboratory. That is, what are the different trainings are required to implement this new standard.
Now part comes, or the important part comes here, is the implementation. So we have seen the introduction of the standard, we have seen what are the important aspect of this standard. Now the main part of this webinar, or the main focus of this webinar here, is the implementation. What we are going to implement, how we are going to implement this standard, from where I have to start, and from which point I should start implementing this standard. So the most important part of the implementation is get yourself aware about the standard. So awareness is very important. You have to undergo the training. You need to train the trainers of your laboratory. Who are the trainers of your laboratory? Basically the supervisors, the managers, the lab directors, maybe. These are the trainers, because these people are going to train the other staff or other personals of your laboratory. So first of all the trainers must get trained in this new standard. They must be aware of this new standard. They must be also aware about the what are the different documents which are applicable to this new standard. So first of all, you must have awareness about this standard. Now how you can get this awareness? Maybe you can attend such type of webinars, or you can read some type of literature. Then you have to get trained. So for training, you can attend the 4 days training for ISO 15189 2022. Who are freshers, those who have already done the previous course, that is ISO 15189 2012, they can go for a refresher course for 2 days and they can get themselves trained. So first important step is train the trainer. So this training part must be conducted for the trainers first. Who are the trainers? Those personnel who are going to train their own faculties, or those personnel who are going to train their own laboratory staff or laboratory personnel. They must undergo the training. And then you have to train your laboratory personnel. You have to make them oriented. You have to make them aware. You have to train them with respect to this new standard. Now, how to do it step by step manner? Let us see. So first of all, you need to undergo some trainings. So what are these different trainings you should undergo? So here I have mentioned some list of the trainings. You need not have to undergo the trainings for all of these ISO standards, but you can at least read this standard. You can make aware of yourself, and you can see what are the implications of this all ISO standard in your laboratory and wherever they are applicable, or you can use them for implementation of your management system in your laboratory. So first of all is the ISO 15189 2022. As I have mentioned, this is the
So
standard,
in the next video we are going to see the actual implementation of the standard in your laboratory. Till then, keep following and thank you.
Or trained in this ISO 9001 2015 document, which is with respect to the quality management system. You must be aware or trained with respect to the ISO 15190 2020 document, which is with respect to the requirement of safety in medical laboratories. You can also read this standard, that is ISO 17025 2017 document, which is with respect to the general requirement for testing and calibration laboratories. Then there is a specific standard for risk management in medical laboratories, that is ISO 22367 2020. Now, as we have mentioned, this standard is completely based on risk-based thinking. So it is very important that you must be aware about the risk management in medical laboratories, and you must have appropriate orientation and knowledge with respect to the risk application or risk management application in your laboratory. So I will advise to, or I will suggest all of you to read this document. If required, you can attend some training program on this document so that you can have appropriate implementation of risk-based approach in your laboratory. The next trainings which I have mentioned here are ISO 22583 2019, which is the guidelines for POCT operators. As I have already mentioned, with the implementation of this new standard, the requirement for point of care testing facilities has also been included in this new new standard. So if you want to include point of care testing areas, point of care testing facilities under your management system, you must be aware of this standard with respect to the point of care testing operator. Then there is a standard ISO 22658, which is with respect to the sample collection and transportation, which is applicable for your collection centers, collection areas, phlebotomy areas. Then there is a standard for 35001 2019, which is with respect to the biorisk management. Then there is a standard for ISO 19011, which is with respect to the guidelines for auditing management system. So this document is going to give you idea about the auditing of your management system. That means the internal auditing of your management system. So to have appropriate knowledge, you must be aware about the different principles of management auditing. You must be aware of different methodologies of auditing. So you should also have a knowledge or awareness about this document, which is with respect to the auditing management system. And then there is a standard 20914, which is with respect to the measurement uncertainty. So you can also go through the standard for the having clear idea about the measurement uncertainty. Why measurement uncertainty is important here? As we have seen, this standard has given priority to the technical requirement. In addition to the risk management methodology, it has given priorities to the technical requirement over management system requirement. So to have a complete knowledge of your technical requirement, your uncertainties in your measurement system, you should have a knowledge and awareness about this new standard, which is this is not a new standard. Measurement uncertainty is not a new standard, but it has, this is the second publication, 2019. So you can undergo or you can have a knowledge about this standard, about the measurement uncertainty. Then there are certain other documents which include requirement for information security. So this is standard ISO 27001, which is with respect to the cyber security. Then and risk management of cyber security is also included here. Then there is a requirement for sample collection and transportation. This also I have already mentioned. And one additional document is there, that is CLSI GP36 guidelines, which is with respect to the planning of laboratory operation during disaster. So basically this document covers the emergency preparedness planning of your laboratory. Now, why it has given a separate place or separate importance in this document? So all of us have already undergone a pandemic of COVID-19. So we have seen that most of the laboratories were not prepared for handling the pandemic situation. The emergency preparedness planning was not sufficient, and there was a complete collapse of the diagnostic system in the initial period. When the COVID-19 pandemic started, during the initial period, we were not able to handle the situations as our manpower were not trained. We were not ready to handle these pandemic situations with respect to we didn't have technically trained staff. We didn't have appropriate infrastructures. Equipments were not available. So this new document or this document has given a special emphasis on planning your laboratory operation during disasters or during emergency preparedness of your laboratory. So these are the certain trainings.
So once trainings are conducted, in next video we are going to see what is the next step in the implementation of this new standard ISO 15189-2022 in your laboratory. Till then, thank you and keep following.